It's again going to be a session on speeches and presentations. So first and foremost, I should request Professor Arnab Kr Laha, Associate Professor, IIM Ahmedabad, to address the gathering. His topic being, Will Analytics Benefit Your Business? Professor Arnab Kr Laha has wide-ranging interests in statistics and its applications, particularly in business analytics, healthcare analytics, quality management, and risk management. He has published more than 20 papers in national and international journals of repute and has presented papers in more than 40 conferences held in India and abroad. Professor Arnab Kr Laha, please.
So thank you all for being awake for this session. So I'm assuming that you are all awake. Many thanks to Mr. Gautam Banerjee and Ms. Soma Banerjee and the team for facilitating me talking at this summit. It's always nice to be back home, and of course I grew up in this city and I saw that very interesting applications that are being done which will impact our lives greatly. So some of the applications that I have heard is truly innovative, and I thank all the speakers for enlightening us with their talk. So what I am going to talk about is that how do you make analytics work for your business? Now, making analytics work for your business is not as easy as one would think that it is. The key problem is that in our excitement for creating a business, we often forget what we are or what will make your business a success. So the business may be truly innovative, but it may not be a success. And we have plenty of examples of that. So, I don't want to sort of start off with failures, but rather to focus on what you should do to make this a success. So, I think if you are looking at analytics today, you can't but forget this famous works from Walter Edwards Deming. Deming said this years ago, and he said this, I guess, in the 1960s, but it is now happening today right here in India and across the globe, that the management decisions will be based on data, and data will guide all our judgments. Now, let me sort of tell at the same breath that he is not saying, and I am not propagating, that data will replace judgment. It will not. But what it will do is, it will inform judgment in a way which will make the judgments better. And that is where the value will come in. Now, the key thing that we must look at is customer value. If we are do not focus on customer value, then it is quite likely that your business will not be a success. And what exactly is customer value? So, customer value is the net of the perceived benefits and the costs. Now, both of these can be, a part of that can be tangible and a part of that can be intangible, which will drive your success. So, you may have a great product and you think that it will give a lot of benefits, but then you sell the product in a store which is far off from the city, which is difficult to access. Now, the benefit of the product may actually not be able to overcome the disadvantage of acquiring it. So, when you are thinking in terms of benefit, the whole part of the benefit, which is both tangible and intangible, needs to be taken into account. If your product is giving higher customer value, it is quite expected that it will sell. When I am talking of product, I also mean service, but I am not repeating it again and again. So, whenever I am talking of product here, I am thinking of it as product or service or a bundle that you are trying to give to your customer. Now, if your perceived benefit is less than the benefit that is expected by the customer, it will create a gap, and that gap would lead to the customer dissatisfaction. Okay, so the customer will feel dissatisfied with your product if the benefit that he perceives out of the product is less than the benefit he had expected from it when the product or the service was acquired. So, therefore, we have to be very careful about this aspect. So, when you are deploying analytics in your organization, make sure that the perceived benefit that the customer gets out of your analytics bundle is actually greater than the cost he pays for it. If it not, then you are in trouble. And what does customer dissatisfaction does? Literature says that it reduces goodwill, it reduces the intention to repeat buy, and leads to customer attrition and loss of market share. I have seen many startups with great ideas failing because they overpromised. I think the old cliche of under promise and over deliver is very, very important. The promise that you make must be met at whatever cost. And for your business to service as whatever cost must mean that it will recover all your direct costs that you have in creating the product. Now, in today's world, customer dissatisfaction you must be extremely wary of, because the social media will ensure that the dissatisfaction of one customer is conveyed to hundreds others in a very short span of time. And that means a very punishing schedule. It sort of expects from organizations that they will be right every time, and that's very, very important. So, our focus when we are sort of trying to deliver analytics or analytical solutions in our organizations must be to enhance customer value. Our focus should be that you increase benefit to the customers or reduce the cost of product or service. So, one of these or both of these must be there in full focus when you are thinking of deploying analytics in your organization. This is a map which I often use. Now, I will just talk about it a little. So this part, which is, no, I think it's not working. So this part where you have a product which has low market perceived quality and low market perceived price are economy products. When you are both average, you have an average product, and a superior product will be one which has both, or a premium product will be one which will have both superior market quality and high market perceived price. So, if you are thinking of cars, maybe a Maruti Alto will be somewhere here, and this will be the space for Audi and Land Rover and those kind of things. And if you are looking at average products, there are many in this product, Toyota Etios and many other such cars. So, whenever you are looking at this map, be very clear of one thing. So, whenever you are sort of tinkling with your business model, make sure that you move towards better value. So, if you are not developing or not providing a higher market perceived quality, but you suddenly decide to increase your price, you will move towards worse value, and that is a danger point. Similarly, if your market perceived price is held constant and you are sort of reducing the market perceived quality, then also you are in danger. So, you lose market share in these cases. So, your analytical solutions, whatever you deploy, must lead to an improvement in value, and if you can improve the value, you will be able to win the market. So, the moral of this message is that your analytics deployment, as and when you do it, must focus on enhanced market perceived quality and reduced market perceived price. And if not both are possible, maybe at least one very strongly. Now, we have seen many examples from the morning where people have benefited out of this, benefited from deploying analytics. I was very interestingly here in the earlier panel discussion of a very good case in which a simple innovation could deliver a lot of value to the customer. And that's the kind of things that we are talking about. The value must be delivered. So, here a couple of years back, NASSCOM did a survey on innovation and maturity of Indian analytics, and as one of the panelists, I look at lots of these cases where interestingly in India how analytics is being done. And one of the cases talked about how they used advanced analytics to accurately predict the demand for cash. And the result is that they were able to sort of reduce the opportunity loss by deploying the cash more efficiently by about 17%. Now, that is one part of it. What we should think of it is that how does it enhance the customer value, the value to the bank's customers or stakeholders. Obviously, this reduction of cost will be transferred to its customers, the loan customers or the ordinary bank members or account holders in some form, and that is where the customer will derive value from the additional cash which is no longer being stored in the ATMs. So, the linkage of the business saving must be transferred back to the customer. Similarly, this is another case of which was reported of an prediction of early insurance claim. By using good analytics, they were able to save about 18 to 20 crores of potential claim payouts. And you must think of that what will happen if these claims were paid out. It will obviously would have increased the losses for the company and therefore would have led to higher premiums. So, the analytical deployment here will link back to the customer by reducing the premiums that they pay for their insurance policy. So, there are several areas in insurance which is prone to fraud, and by deploying analytical solutions which are able to capture this, I think our industries would become far more competitive. The insurance industry would become far more competitive and will achieve greater penetration. The third one, healthcare analytics, is a very new thing in India. It's only sort of getting started. I'm sure there will be a lot of activity in this space in the next 3-4 years. So, this is one good example from Virginia Mason. So, Virginia Mason is a hospital in US. It was one of the leading hospitals there, and one of the common solutions that doctor gave for diagnosing back pain was to order an MRI straight away. But ordering an MRI for diagnosis of a back pain, they found out was unnecessary, because in most of these cases the MRI report came out fine, there was no problem. So, what they did was they created an analytical engine which would sort of tell the doctor when to order an MRI. So, if the analytical engine says that the MRI is not important, the MRI will not be ordered, and they saved substantial cost through these MRI investigations. And in the current Obamacare kind of a setup in US, it is very important that your costs are contained when you are providing treatment. In Walmart, which has been a poster boy for success in analytics, they are also trying to solve a very difficult problem. Remember, Walmart carries millions of SKUs, stock keeping units with itself, and they use real-time stream data analysis to be able to do something which looks like a cliche. It says that they are trying to solve the problem of providing the right product in the right place at the right time so that the right people can buy it. Obviously, you can understand for any big retailer, it's not possible to carry a huge quantum of SKUs at all times. So, therefore, it is important that when the customer comes to your store searching for a SKU, they must get it, and you have to ensure it with the least possible inventory that you can have. So, Walmart's social genome project actually monitors public social media conversations and attempts to predict products that would be bought. A fantastic application is by this organization John Deere. So, John Deere is trying to do multiple things. One is a very good application in predictive analytics, where they are trying to use IoT based systems to capture the data coming from their tractors all across US and trying to figure out when these would require maintenance. They also have a website called myjohndeere.com. A concept video is also there in YouTube. You must see it if you have time. What they are trying to do is they are trying to get the big data about agriculture from across the world and trying to provide the farmers additional value. What additional value? They will analyze this data and tell the farmer which crop to plot, which kind of seed to buy, which kind of fertilizers to apply, and given the current agricultural situation there. That means it would mean the humidity, the water, and various other information that they are gathering through the satellite data. And they are using this to suggest, to prescribe, to use a more strong word, to the farmer the best solution for their problem, which is to get enough revenue out of this. In India, this would be a game changer, because what is very shocking is that most of our farmers who are small and marginal are actually net negative. So, they lose money by actually doing the agriculture. So, it is going to be a big kind of a solution that need to be deployed here. Now, finally, whenever I give a talk like this, there is in an academic audience, people will ask, does analytic deliver value? I think this answer is now a no-brainer, because otherwise why they are continuing to invest money in analytics. But if you are looking at academic studies of this, there is one number that I can get. It's slightly dated, about in HBR to October 2012. They gave results in which they said that at that point of time, which is 5 years back, data-driven firms were 5% more productive and 6% more profitable from others. So, even 5 years back, these were numbers, so I can assume that these numbers must have doubled by now with the great kind of technologies that are coming in. And I hope that you will be able to deliver analytics, you will be able to use analytics to deliver great value to your customers. Thank you.
Now it's time to felicitate Professor Laha. I'd like to call upon Sri Nirupam Chaudhary to please come and do the honors.